Hey everybody, Cougar here with a beginner's quick start guide to the amazing underwater survival game Subnautica. At this stage of development, Subnautica does not have a tutorial, does not have an instruction manual, so a lot of people, new players, sometimes have trouble figuring out what they want to do when they first get into the game. So this will set you up with some of the basic tools right off the bat and hopefully point you in the right direction as far as taking it from there. So let's start a new game. And let's take a quick look around the life pod before we dive into the game. Over here on the left we have a medkit fabricator, comes with a medkit inside. Let's pick that up right away. A lot of people overlook this storage container in the bench over here. Want to make sure that we check that. It comes with some basic supplies, some water, and some nutrient food blocks. Also over here have our actual fabricator and some damaged equipment that we can later use a welder to repair, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Here in the life pod you see that we have an exit at the top. We also have an exit at the bottom. You can use that to enter or exit. Let's climb up to the top. Now the first things that we want to build right off the bat are going to be a knife, an oxygen tank, and some swim fins. So let's jump in and start collecting some resources to do that. Also, if you notice on our heads up display on the lower left hand corner, we've got our oxygen, our health, our food, and our water. Our food starts at with a half full stomach when we first spawn in. So top priority is going to be grabbing something to eat, and I will show you how to do that as well. Speaking of something to eat, here is a peeper fish. Those are delicious. Let's grab one of those if I can. Come here, peeper.
New creature discovered.
We have a peeper now. Here's a Gary fish. We can eat that too.
Discovered.
And then you see the air sac over here. That will actually allow us to make some fresh water. Some fresh water to drink. But what we need to start with is grabbing some titanium. There's some scrap metal that will give me 4 pieces of titanium when I break it down. I can also break limestone and pick up raw titanium here. Here is a huge coral shell. This is always a good spot to start hunting for titanium and copper. There's some copper. We will need that later for a battery. I'm using the swim.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Using the swim up button to get to the surface quickly there. You can also swim directly down. That as well as all the forwards and backs and so on. So we are looking for some quartz to make glass for our oxygen tank. And we are looking for these creep vines. Now you see these creep vines here. We cannot cut anything from these yet because we have not made a knife, but we can go and harvest some of their creep vine seeds. We will use these seeds to make silicone rubber, which will allow us to craft a handle grip for our knife.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
And some other stuff.
Detecting increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with ongoing degradation of the Aurora's dark matter drive core due to damage sustained during collision. Continuing to monitor.
You do that. You continue to monitor for us, please. In the meantime, we will head back to our life pod because we've got almost a full inventory here, and start crafting some stuff. There's more quartz, that, and break some more nodules here. So here, grab a little more titanium, copper. There's some salt. We can use that later to make some fresh water. A couple more nodules before we head back to the ship. That was lead, titanium, another piece of scrap which we cannot pick up.
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Alright, back to the pod. Let's fire up our fabricator. Let's break down that sheet metal we picked up. That's metal salvage. Break that down into titanium. And we will make some silicone rubber out of the creep vine seeds that we harvested. A few of those, as many as we can actually, since we're going to need that. We will turn the quartz into glass. And now we will go to our personal equipment. We will craft an O2 tank. I'm not going to craft the fins yet. I want to make sure that we have enough for the knife. The knife is more important. And check our equipment again, and we do have enough for the fins. So boom, just like that, we're 10 minutes into the game, and we've got some of the most important equipment for ourselves. We've got our oxygen tank, we've got our fins, and we've got our survival knife, which I will now assign to slot 1 on my hotbar. And back out into the waters. The sun has not even set yet. You're off to a very good start. I'm going to go back to the creep vines now that I have my knife. Let's pull out our knife. Isn't it pretty? Very shiny. Because I want to show you... Hi, Peeper. You swam right into me. Another thing with creep vines now, you can right-click to swing your knife and cut some creep vine. If you eat it right away, you can get a little bit of food and a little bit of water from it. Do not let it sit in your inventory for too long. You want to eat it right away, and do not eat more than 4 pieces, or you may throw up. Now, you see these boxes lying around. These are fragments right now, and that sound means that a stalker has found me. And we will strafe around
30
him.
seconds of oxygen remaining.
Maybe take a couple swipes at him until he swims away. So, we see those boxes, the fragment boxes there. We need to scan those with a scanner in order to learn the technology from them. So the next thing that we want to build is a scanner. I would also like to build an air bladder, which I consider a crucial piece of equipment. You can consider that optional when you're first starting, but I use it all the time, so I'm going to go ahead and make one as soon as I can. We may need more rubber for that, in which case let me go grab a few more creep vine seeds while I'm here. So nice and quiet down here. Grab some clusters, filled up my inventory, and right back to the pod.
Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may cause a quantum detonation. Calculating risk assessment. Death by malnourishment, 7%. By physical injury, 11%. By exposure to radioactive crash site materials, 19%. If the drive core is breached, probability of death increases to 65%.
Ooh, scary, right? Not so scary. Don't worry about that too much. Here's an important tip when you first start out. Do not move toward the Aurora. There is radiation over there, which you can find out the hard way, or you can take my word for it. So as you start your initial gathering and exploring and stuff, try to keep your back to the Aurora as much as possible so that you're not drifting toward it and potentially getting some radiation damage. I told you I would show you, since it's getting around dinner time, sun's going down. Just take a look at the pretty sunset real quick. Sun's going down over there, so let's grab a little bit of dinner. And we will go to our sustenance, to our cooked food. We will cook up a peeper. We will cook up a Gary fish. And we will go to the water setting and turn one of our air sacs into filtered water. And we will chow those down immediately because they do start to degrade. Eat my cooked peeper, my cooked Gary fish. Delicious. Eat up my water. And there we go. That is a good start to day 1. The only other thing I would love to have right now is a scanner so that I can start scanning stuff that I stumble across. Since we already found some copper, we can actually build that right now by picking up some of those mushrooms. Never a bad idea to have an extra peeper on hand for when you're hungry. Picked up some mushrooms, have some copper, so now we can go to the fabricator and the resources and the electronics and make a few batteries. Those. Now we should be able to go to our tools and build a scanner. And it would be great if we could also build a flashlight, but I need glass for that. So we need to run out and pick up some quartz, which is very easy to see at night. So it's a good time to be gathering quartz. And I see no quartz at all. But it is officially nighttime, so we can call this an episode. Now that we've got our scanner can go around and scan stuff. And scan stuff just for our personal encyclopedia, or it can scan stuff to unlock technologies. That's enough scanning for now. Alright, let's call it a day. Day 1, we have built a knife, an oxygen tank, and some swim fins. We have also built a scanner and an air bladder. And in like 15 minutes. So you should be off to a good start on your day 1. If you follow these tips and follow those instructions, good luck to you. Stay dry.